Sure. My name's Dennis Cavan, and I'm a counselor at MWS. What I do is usually I wake up in the morning, I work with the inters, so intermediate, junior intermediate division, and I get my campers in the morning. I make sure they're all there. They're older, so they are afforded more privileges than most intermediates. So I send them to breakfast, make sure everyone's there. After they're all sent to breakfast, I get breakfast myself. I sit with the campers, I talk to them, I make sure they're eating properly, I make sure they're talking in English, that everyone's included, I make sure that they're being respectful, eating all their food. After that, they usually either have class or an activity, and that's what I like the most. I like to collect all my campers and ask how their day was, and we get going, maybe CN Tower, Harborfront, Wonderland, something like that. Yeah, and we usually have a lot of fun, like all together as a group. It's really fun to kind of get to know the kids that you're with for however long it may be. I've had this group for almost 2 weeks, so I know them really well, and it's fun to see like what they're doing with their spare time. And we get going, and I think that the best part about that is you're trusted with a lot, and so you have to be really responsible to make sure you're waking up, because you can't rely on other counselors or directors to wake you up. I like that you're responsible for those kids and that they get to know you, and it's not like there's very little control. It's up to you to make sure that the journey goes smoothly. And yeah, the responsibility is great. You really feel like you're part of the team. You don't feel like you're a worker per se. I'm not a laborer. You're really like part of it. You can see the difference you're making.
Okay,
and
so let me stop you right there.
the best part is that you're always talking to someone and you're having a conversation. You're not usually giving instructions and listening and apologizing. You're really just having a conversation, how things are going. They're giving you feedback. You're giving them like your experience, you're telling them what's been going on. And I feel that the best part really is that they're all really kind. They're all really kind and they're friendly, because to make the campers experience better, the counselor experience has to be good, and so does the director. So everything has to work well together in order for it to function. So you never have that you're never really, in my opinion, you're never looked down upon. So it's not like you're told like, oh, you're a counselor, you must do this. You're told that here's what you can do to help your campers. You're given advice, and it's a really close relationship because you all live together in the residence with the campers and with the directors, and you hang out in your spare time, and it's a really great relationship that you develop.
Are you from Toronto?
No, actually I was born in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Wow.
So my whole family, as far as it's gone back, has been from Eastern Europe. So my dad's family was from Russia, my mom's from Ukraine. I was born in St. Petersburg, and I was born in 2000, and I came here when I was 2, so in 2002. And that's when I started living here. So I maintain Russian fluency, English fluency, obviously, and I speak French too, fluently.
Nice.
I live in Toronto, so right now, since I was 2 years old, I've lived in Toronto, mostly around the same area. I started off near Avenue and St. Clair, and now I'm more Eglinton West. So I live a really short subway ride away from the camp.
So tricky.
Yeah. I mean, it feels great. Like, it kind of feels like a home away from home, in terms of that you live in the same city, and you know that you're really close to home, but you live somewhere else. So you feel comfortable in that you know how to navigate the city and you know everything about it, but it still feels new and fresh because you're living somewhere else. And obviously, if you look at the space, it's completely different from what most of Toronto is. So you're kind of in like this little like isolated paradise here with all the trees and the lush and the greenery, and you walk out and you get to experience the city. So I mean, in terms of a home, it couldn't get much better. You have like your dining hall right there, your room, everything's here. I was hoping you'd ask this question because I thought about it a lot. I was just talking to another counselor last night about it, and the best part about being from the city and then still working in the city is that when you live here for so long, you develop a routine. So you mainly go from school back home, maybe to the same places. You develop like a sort of familiarity with the areas that you like, and you kind of forget that there's like a whole, like a vibrant city still going on. So I can't remember the last time I've been to Harborfront or even downtown. I mean, those places exist and you're right in them, but they're often overlooked for like what they have and what they have to offer. So you can be walking through and just kind of looking at your phone, and then here it's kind of like you're reliving your first times in those areas, because the kids are so interested, you become interested, and suddenly it doesn't feel like Toronto anymore. It feels like something new. So when I went out to the Harborfront, I completely forgot about what that looked like, how it was like, how we have a huge lake that I never see. So the best part about it is getting excited about your city again.
What has
The biggest thing that I found with this job that I really enjoyed was how you're given so much responsibility. So it feels like it's not like a 9 to 5 job that you typically might have around my age. You know, I have a few friends working downtown, and they work. You know, they put on their collared shirt and their khaki pants in the morning, and they go down. You know, and it feels like it's fun. You know, like all the time it's fun because your kids are fun. You're always interacting with other people. You're never at a screen. You're never just sitting and, you know, doing like work. You know, your work is just engaging with other people and making their experience better. And for most people, I'd say that's what fun is. You know, as soon as you find happiness and joy in making other people happy. So I know that when I take my kids somewhere and I do what I can to make it the best experience for them. So to explain them how the subway works, or how, you know, the other day on an activity that I was running with my kids, we went to St. Clair Station and we took the streetcar across to St. Clair West. And they were really, first of all, the streetcar, most of them had never, I guess they were really, just by how it looked, they hadn't seen one of those before. So they were asking like what it was and stuff like that, how it goes above and below ground, and also how we went from one side of the subway to the other without getting on the subway. So it's stuff like that you can do that's extra beyond just taking your kids out on an activity, but actually like engaging with them and helping them understand something or learn something new. That makes you see their smile and them understanding more about the city and other cultures and, you know, whatever you can. And that makes you happy because you feel like you're doing your job.
Yeah.
My advice, just mainly, I think that this advice is for anyone who's active, who likes people. The most important thing is being a people person. You like interacting with people, you like learning about people, you like meeting new people, I think. And, you know, in an extent, just, sorry, my nose is itchy.
That's okay. I'll just edit it out. You know, it'll be like 2 seconds of your face.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's for people. So people who like other people and who like talking to other people and who find it kind of, how to say, like uncomfortable when they're alone. A lot of this job is always being close to people and always talking to people, because whether it's campers or other counselors at night or wherever, dining hall, meetings, you're always with people and you're always talking to them. So I think that the most important thing in terms of as a person who you want to be is someone who is very social. But although my biggest advice, I think, because I think most people are really like that, and I think that as much as every person is different, here you kind of see every other counselor and every person I work with kind of evolve over their first week to become, you know, the social person that they are. So I might be more social in terms of, you know, like playing soccer with my kids and stuff like that and always wanting to be in an activity. Other people might be better at sitting down one-on-one with a camper and having a conversation. And it's just, you find out how you're good at talking to other people and interacting. But I think that beyond that, the most important thing is to bring a lot of shirts. I brought 4 shirts to camp, and you're just out so much and you're doing so much that those shirts need to be washed all the time. So that's definitely, if I could go back, the only thing I'd do differently is just bring more clothes. Socks, shirts mostly.
Well, you could, because
Yeah, I live so close. Yeah, exactly.